we are having a series of policy times unleashing India National Development Series. This is the second in line. First one we had on secured insurances, which has been reasonably very well accepted. And this time we are going to talk on another very, very important topic, that is how to get the growth and economy back on track from COVID devastation. Let us understand that post-COVID, many things are going to be very different. So strategy and the way we follow the new policy will be the one which will see the economy back on track. For doing this, we have done a detailed analysis of the Indian economy. Here is a small snapshot where we are talking of the various aspects of India's economy, its fiscal deficit, its inflation, the current account balance, the reserves which are there, various ministries, agriculture, forestry, fishing, infrastructure, education, healthcare, all how it goes, the industrial growth, which has to be superimposed on each and every sector, and various services, how and what way they grow. Now, how does this impact the economy of the country, and what strategy we should announce? Now, in that, there is a concept, doctrine, which is called secured governance, which is the strategy for self-sustained growth. What do we mean by self-sustained growth? We mean by self-sustained growth is that when there is a huge potential inside each sector, inside we as a country, inside the various aspects of the country's growth, those hidden potentials have to be taken in to make the country grow. Where the government keeps its commitments and keeps its governance as a main target, and through value and valuation, any infrastructure which is done, any economic growth, if it is coupled with the techno-economic growth, there's a huge change in the value and valuation. If a road is built, there's a huge value around the road. If a huge complex of education institution is built, huge values around that institution. If anything which is done, a huge government department is coming, it has got huge value. Now, none of them capture the value which they are creating. In secured governance, we ensure that the government governs it, and the value is captured by the entity which is giving the huge valuation. Here, only a minor change we will have to do. In whatever is conventionally called private-public partnership, we have to change the word partnership to participation. There is no change in any other aspect. Only thing, there is no long-term commitment for each. The ownership of the primary public properties will be with government. The rest all things will be the way the private sector will come, participate, and have it a commercial deal and bring in money which is required. Government will only get little money and have to spend very little in the initial planning and the initial processing of the various projects. Now, when such a system is followed, you can ensure that the growth will be on a positive and on a very progressive manner. Now, there are a few more things which are going to play a positive role for India's growth. As we all know, China has dug its own grave by spreading a lot of things which are negative, and it is making no efforts to correct it. Because of that, the whole world, even independent of that, the world was looking at India. But because of that, there is a bigger scope for India to participate in the global requirements of various aspects of the in all the sectors. Okay, whether it is healthcare, whether it is sports, whether it is education, in anything today there is a look at India, whether India can supply even a toys for a child, whether India can supply, even household equipments, household items, whether India can supply. Many other people want to shift their base to India. So in all these things, the secured governance with the techno-economic growth aspect will play a huge role and will have its own way forward. And the opportunities are immense through every sector will look for this. And we find that the $5 trillion economy which the government is planning can still be kept up. Maybe there will be a little delay by a few months or years, but the practical aspect has to be in terms of proper understanding of secured governance, which doesn't call for any change in any basic policies, and for the proper implementation, so that there is a huge way in which the government's working, the private sector participation, and the way the India's economy can boom back into its natural positioning post-COVID. COVID's devastation, I need not have to emphasize, it has done a huge damage, and we need to do everything new on a new governance principle, a new modus operandi of growth, and the whatever we call as reincarnation, how we can reincarnate Indian economy back in a very pragmatic and practical way. Thank you so much.